Bodine 52, how are you, folks? Sometimes not talking is the right thing. Isn't that beautiful? Tell you what, if you happen to live in one of these houses, whether it was a summer home or your real home, had that across the street, rode a motorcycle, even had a plane. Okay, tell me that's not cool and you don't want to ride in that. How sweet would that be? And my question today is, have you ever gone on a motorcycle ride with somebody that you never rode with before and you wasn't sure it was such a great idea? Let me tell you about my experience. I could never, ever get sick of that. Now, people out there in the water. Now, I'm not sure I could get Mrs. Bodine to do that because, as Mrs. Bodine says, if I can't see the bottom, it ain't happening. So that would be a no. Though she wants a pool, which is crazy to me in Michigan. So, all right, so a story. So for the longest time, we have a client at work, an important client, one of our two most top clients. And I've met him a couple times. And my job really, in addition to supporting our customers and our team members, is to have some relationships with some of our high-level customers. So I've met this guy multiple times. He has a pretty good position at a large university, the best university in the world. Hashtag Go Blue. But one of the things we talked about in the old days, you used to take somebody out for lunch, you used to take somebody out for dinner, you take them on a boat ride, you take them to a baseball game. All the craziness going on in the world, that's slowing down a little bit. Not sure what that's going to look like in the future. But when I was out talking to him, I don't know, a month or two ago, we ended up talking about motorcycles. I don't know how that came up, but he has a motorcycle. He's like, let's go for a ride sometime. I'm like, absolutely, right? So my guy that handles his accounts with me, and we're just kind of chatting. I really didn't think anything about it. Really kind of a nice guy. A little uptight, but that's all right. At least that was my initial impressions. So our sales guy sends me a message and says, hey, this guy wants to go for a ride with you. He's going to call you over to July 4th weekend. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So he texts me the week before. We finally get it set up for the Sunday after July 4th. And so we decide to meet. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I pull up. He's already there. We just kind of chat a little bit. He's got a, I don't know, is it a Suzuki C50, 85, maybe 85? I don't know, something like that. Cool bike. He loves it. You know, he told me a story about how he got it, which I won't bore you with. But he had an old Senna on his helmet. And I said, hey, do you, and I decided I was not going to vlog, right? I don't know this guy. He's a customer. I don't know how I was going to feel about that. So I had my Senna on. I did not have my GoPro on, which is right here. So I looked at him. I said, hey, I see you have a Senna, an older Senna. I've never seen one of those before. He goes, yeah, I like it. I play music through it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I'm like, so do I. Have you ever paired that with another Senna? He goes, no. So I'm like, let's try it, right? Do you see that? Nothing against older people, but that older lady right there just pulled right up and went right through that when it was my turn to go. As JT Hickman would say, keep your head on a swivel. But, so we got it hooked up, and I took him, we rode probably 100 miles, and I got to tell you what, we had the greatest time. We just really did. We had the greatest time. I mean, he was a riot. He was fun. We didn't talk that much about work stuff or business stuff. Talked about his family. Talked about riding. He lives in a place in Michigan where he doesn't have so much of the back and country roads that I do. So we was seeing new places. We stopped at an A&W root beer place. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of those, but they're big around Michigan. You can ride up or drive up, and they come out and put the food on your window. Of course, not on the bike, but they had some outside patio stuff, and we sat there. Look at all those kids playing baseball. So that is a sports facility. Kids come in from all over and play baseball there and tournaments and stuff. And I got to tell you what, with everything going on, every time I ride by there and see everybody out there playing, it just makes me happy. Assuming that they're all safe and healthy and all that fun stuff, of course, important stuff. But I love seeing them out doing stuff. Baseball, America. So anyway, we stopped and had lunch. I got to tell you what, the guy is like fantastic. I mean, just a lot of fun. And I'm like, who would have thunk it? I mean, I did this because I did kind of like the guy when I met him. Didn't know if I'd like riding with him, right? That's sometimes a different story. But I'm like, all right, it's business. I should do it. How am I going to turn out and ride a motorcycle, right, with somebody? But it turned out that this guy was unbelievable. Love it. We talked about our wives, going out to dinner together, doing other rides together. And it's amazing to me what motorcycling does to bring people together. I mean, it really is. So if I would have met with this guy and we hadn't talked about motorcycle riding, there is no chance that I would have hung out with him. I would have, from a business perspective, yeah, but I mean, he's such a likable guy. He's so fun. Doesn't hurt that he is a customer, but even outside of that, I could definitely see a friendship with this guy. And just amazing what motorcycling does for us. And I just wondered have you ever had that? I mean, those folks that follow my channel know I have met tons and tons of great friends and have tons and tons of great friends from what we do, riding a motorcycle and vlogging. I'm sure you know that Harley Day Rider and Bronco Rider are two very, very close friends to me. We also do if you don't know, we also do a Sunday night live stream. I do like riding around these, but they are kind of dangerous. We do have a Sunday night live stream every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we get on and just kind of talk about motorcycles, laugh. We answer some questions. Some people ask us questions. There's usually, I don't know, anywhere. We've had from, 55 to 90 people on these things every week. So they're usually on one of our channels, either Harley Day Rider, Bronco Rider, or my channel, Boudin 52. But so it's amazing how many friends that you meet and guys that are good friends, right? I mean, if one of those guys called me and said, hey, I got to have $10 to pay my mortgage, and I had $10 left in the bank, I'd give him that $10, right? So, by the way, if you guys are watching, I'm not giving you the $10. You owe me beer for a lot of things. I'll go over later. But it's just amazing what I think motorcycle does. So I ask you, has that happened to you? And if it hasn't, is there somebody you're thinking about, maybe okay and cool to ride with, and you just haven't asked them? And you're thinking about it? Or you're just like, I don't like riding with anybody else. And I do like riding alone or with my wife at times, but really cool to meet some new friends and do some riding. I do prefer, if I'm not going out by myself, to ride with 2 or 3 people. So, but that is it for me, folks. My appreciation of that beautiful lake and how awesome it is to have a motorcycle. Alrighty, folks, be safe on and off the motorcycle. Make that call to somebody. Go for a ride. Be safe. And as Bronco Ride would say, be well. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.